Hello there everyone, Silentwisher here with a different style of video than I normally do. This is going to be AI image generation using the Leonardo AI. I am using a paid version of it. There is a free version available though. All that information you can find on their Discord server and on their website. But this first episode is going to be going through the image generations that I've done so far. And then the following episodes will be doing the generations live with you, and you can kind of see how how this whole thing works. But like I said, there's some images I want to show you, and we're going to go over the prompts that I gave them and stuff like that to get what we got, and go from there. Something to keep in mind about this AI image generator, at least at the time of recording this video. What you generate is yours. What you generate, you can use for commercial purposes, non-commercial purposes, whatever. So it's not like Adobe Firefly, where for some reason during the beta, you can't use any of your images for basically anything. And there's other AIs that have weird rules like that too. But with this one, they're your images. So do what you want with them. So technically all of these images are mine. So there's that. And of course, if you do it, then they're yours. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And you're going to see a common theme of images as I go through, because my ideas are, I get super focused on one thing. But anyways, moving on. The first generation that I did was for a modern tank in a desert. And this was the result. We're just going to not click on those just in case something shows up that shouldn't. But modern tank in a desert was the prompt, and this is the one I actually ended up wanting to keep. I did keep a few of them, but I did some of these generations in batches of 4. This prompt change was a menacing futuristic tank looming over the desolate desert landscape. And I did like that one. It resulted in this image, which I did end up keeping and using. We're going to keep on going here. I tried to do this with other AIs as well, but it's a little finicky. An old, damaged, abandoned, mostly buried modern tank in the desert sand dunes. I was trying to get one that's quite literally mostly buried, but the AI is not quite capable of generating that yet, or at least I haven't figured out how to do it yet. With the right prompt, but this is as close as it got. And its prompt was an abandoned, mostly buried modern tank in desert sand dunes. So that's as close as it got. Now we switch gears a little bit here. These are PlanetSide 2 inspired images, specifically with these ones. Sorry, I have sniffles. With these ones, we're going for the new conglomerate faction in PlanetSide 2. This is a futuristic military tank painted yellow and blue, moving through a desert environment with a sandstorm in the distance and aircraft flying by. And that's a pretty good generation if you ask me. And then of course there's some other ones. I'm going to kind of skim through these pretty quick, but some of these ended up really, really good. Like this one right here, the jet that's shown, that I didn't exactly intend. I was hoping they'd be more in the distance, but it actually turned out to make a really cool looking jet too, alongside the tank. And then you have some different images where like there's some scale involved. Like there's a little Jeep down here beneath the giant tank. They weren't meant to be gigantic. So like I said, we're going to skim through some of these. Some of these it got a little wrong. Like this one's kind of all over the place. Then we switched to, I think, an APC. No, this one's just the same prompt, but with a drone escort. I mean, it kind of did it, but not to where I wanted. I kept those anyway. And then somewhere, okay, right here, futuristic military APC painted yellow and blue, moving through a desert environment. I thought those turned out pretty good. Pretty much all of them. Now with these next ones, I was experimenting with trying to get some images that were New World inspired. and I didn't continue on for these very long because I was getting frustrated with it. Um, but this one and this one, the prompt was generate an image of a mage in green robes standing in a dim dungeon. The magic captures, or I'm sorry, the magic. Wow. The mage conjures a blazing fire spell, directing it towards menacing skeletons. And it did very creative. Oh, and something I should say is there's a bunch of different models as well. Like I'll show you that when we get into the episodes where we're actually playing with the image generation models, because each model is going to interpret what you put differently. And then I was trying to get a healing class kind of generated. So it was generate an image of a healer in a green robe casting a healing spell on a fellow fantasy player, medieval style clothing and weapons. And these were the generations it gave us. And I think the one I ended up keeping was either this one or this one. Regardless, I kept them all. But as far as favorites are concerned. And then if you play New World, you would know they recently nerfed the musket into the ground, but I was trying to get a musket player, and pretty much all of them failed. No matter what AI I used, even not with this service, weapons seem to be something that AI struggles with, along with hands and stuff. But anyway, this one was okay. This one was a meh. This one wasn't right at all. This one, funny enough, was the closest I think I've ever had an AI get to it. It's got a weapon that looks like a musket. Funny enough, it's got a really long fantasy looking scope on it, and then some sort of staff or spear on the back, which is kind of new worldy, And then I switched to knights, medieval knights with great axe. And you can see the weapons are kind of all over the place here. This one was medieval knight with a great axe fighting a demon. Those were the results of that. And I have a lot to go through here, so this is going to be a longer episode. But and then once again, more New World inspired themes here. Medieval knight with a large battle axe, green armor for the Marauder faction that I'm currently aligned with. So those were those results. And then I was going for like a void gauntlet user, like a void mage, I guess. And these were the results of that. The prompts were a powerful mage shrouded in a void of darkness, summoning a storm of shadows. And then I think I modified it somewhere. No. Well, anyway, that's those. And then we took another turn towards PlanetSide inspired stuff. The red and black color scheme is from the Terran Republic faction, which was originally my primary faction in PlanetSide 2. So with these generated, pretty much the prompts are the same for the most part. So in this case, it would be a menacing red and black military tank slowly navigating its way through a marshland, its tracks leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. And these were some of the generations from that. And I think that some of them were pretty good. This one was actually my favorite, even though it's a little tiny snub-nosed type tank. It's very PlanetSide looking, with the least amount of weird artifacts and stuff. And then the same thing here. So there's some more options there. Now with these ones, I was going for once again, PlanetSide 2 inspired Terran Republic style vehicle, a tank, specifically going through, I just reset everything. Hold on. Let's get back to where we were. Getting a little teaser of what we have upcoming. Like I said, we got a lot to go through, so let's get back to where we were. Sorry about that. So with these, the prompt was a menacing red and black futuristic military tank slowly navigates its way through a dense rainforest, in its tracks, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. So same prompt basically as the other one, except slightly changed to incorporate the more lush forests. And then the same thing, the only difference here with the prompt is um, changing the color scheme. So from red and black paint to yellow and blue paint for the new conglomerate faction, Planetside. And then I tried to get a Mag Rider, Vanu Sovereignty faction looking tank, hover tank, um, to generate. And as you can tell, didn't quite work. Still trying to figure out a good prompt for that. So that's the AI's interpretation of my prompt for that. And then I just kind of was experimenting with military aircraft. I was trying to get like a Mosquito style Planetside 2 aircraft. And this took it a little more seriously, more realistic. Next, we got more of the military tanks. We're going to skim through these pretty quick so we can make this video not too terribly long. But once again, Planetside inspired vehicles and stuff here. Some of these turned out to be really, really cool. I think this one was one of my favorites. I incorporated things like sci-fi in the prompts, which helped a little bit. And then we have some random portraiture generations here. And then with these ones are kind of interesting because I just typed in Planetside 2. And, some of these look kind of Planetside 2 like, which is interesting. And once again, all of these can look different depending on the specific generator that you use. So there's that to think about too. So with these next ones, I was experimenting with a different model generator. And I was going for futuristic military bases, and they look great. I don't see any problems with these. And then a futuristic military soldier. Some of these looked really good. Some of these looked a little whack. And then we got some Planetside 2 inspired ones, which look really, really cool. And then we took a turn for vehicles. I was going for old-fashioned police cars, which generated an interesting result. But these, and you'll see more of these in a minute, futuristic police officer with armor. Pretty cool looking. And then we got police car with its emergency lights on, parked on a desolate road in the middle of a misty forest. So there's that. And those are the prompts are pretty much the same. There was one point where I said, creating a blockade or a roadblock or multiple police cars. And that's what the results of these were. I'm going to quickly skim through those. Then I tried something a little different. I was like, well, what if we did a modern military roadblock in a dark forest? And this one was my favorite generation of them all so far, which was really, really cool. Let's see if I can blow this up for you here. I think this looks really, really cool. Anyways, then we got some more of the same thing. Then we changed the prompt a little bit. We went with a sleek black military vehicle, stands guard in a dark forest, blocking the road with barricades and razor sharp barbed wire. It obviously didn't do the barbed wire or anything. It did do the vehicles. The vehicles look pretty decent. That's pretty cool looking if you ask me. Take a sip of my drink here and we can move on. Okay. Then we went for a menacing modern military vehicle, looms in the shadows of the dark forest, its headlights illuminating a barricade of steel barriers. Once again, didn't do the barriers, but it did generate this image, and I think this one is really, really cool. Next, we went for a cybernetic soldier standing guard at a checkpoint. That's, you could tell I did one generation of that and said, nope, moving on. Got some more vehicles here, some more military stuff here. And then once again, some Planetside inspired stuff. And we're just going to kind of scroll through these fairly quickly. some more, except in these ones, I use the prompt futuristic, sleek, menacing blue and yellow military tank moves through a bombed out town. And then, of course, I just use different prompts to change the colors. Some of these look really, really, really good. Like this one's one of my favorites. Just looks really possible, like in the realm of possibility. More of that, just instead with the yellow and blue painting. Same prompt, but with these ones, all I did was change to at night. And then these, I was trying to do like a futuristic city, dystopian looking city with like a war happening, and it kind of did it, but not really. And then we moved on to dark, scary, red and black computers watching you. And then we got some interesting eye ones, some more camera looking ones. And then we moved into surveillance, mass surveillance, and this is what the AI took and ran with when it came to mass surveillance, like Big Brother style stuff, which was pretty neat. Pretty powerful. Quite a few of those. I thought it did a pretty good job generating those. And then we went for, futuristic gamer. Some of these it did okay on, and some of these we got like the headphones on their face. And then we got like demons, which are really scary. Some zombies. And then for this prompt, I typed encrypted, and that's what came up. Then we got some more portrait generation here. Another night. Then we switched back to military vehicles in the desert. And then military vehicles in the desert with thunderstorms and lightning. And that's kind of where we left off. So that's the first episode. I know this one was a little bit long, but those are all the generations I've done so far. And in the next episodes, we're going to be actually generating them live. And you can see, how the prompt generation process goes. So in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that subscribe button if you're new. And whether you're new or not, hit the like button as well. That really helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.